Hey, good morning and Happy New Year. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by Century Next Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Are you awake this morning? If you are awake, why? Are you headed to work? Are you just up because this is your normal routine? Whatever. If you are not joining us live, which the vast majority of you probably are not, Happy New Year. And thanks for joining us whenever you join us. Check of I-20 this morning. It is an absolute ghost town, obviously. It's not a traditional work day with it being a holiday. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day. There's not a lot of traffic. It's probably the vast majority of what I've seen has just been our truck drivers. And those guys and gals never take a day off. So kudos to them. We appreciate what they do for our country because they keep everything moving. And aside from that, pretty quiet start to the day across the region. Chilly start to the day. 44 in Monroe is one of the warmer spots on the map. 35 in El Dorado. A lot of areas flirted with the freezing mark. And there wasn't a lot of rhyme or reason as to who flirted with the freezing mark. Or at least were noticeably colder to start the morning off. Again, about an hour ago when I was really checking temperatures to start the day, there were a lot of areas, 32 to 35, and then there were a lot of areas 42 to 44 or 40 to 44. And you're like, well, what's the big temperature discrepancy? Well, it really had a lot to do with winds. Some areas were generally seeing calm winds, and those spots were generally colder. And then other areas were still holding on to a light southwesterly breeze, and those areas were noticeably 5-6 degrees warmer. So, again, that's something that that oftentimes during the morning hours can mean the difference between the colder spots and the warmer spots. A lot of it also sometimes has to do with elevation. Some areas are higher in altitude than others. And I know that seems silly in the Arklamis, but it does make a difference. Just depends on the air mass. May, good morning and Happy New Year to you as well. A check of rain percentages. Rain totals, if you will, percentage of our normal rainfall over the last 30 days. You normally want to aim for 100% of your normal rainfall. Not even remotely close to that. And that's a bummer because we need the rain. The drought monitor was updated a day early, so this is actually a day old. But moderate drought conditions now overspread a good chunk of the Arklamis region. Abnormally dry conditions fill in the rest. And there is a few spots that have severe drought conditions across generally Wynn and Grant parishes in our area. That stretches also into a good chunk of Natchitoches Parish and into western Louisiana. So the lack of rainfall continues to be concerning. I've talked about it. The Digital Weather Desk has been launched now for about 4 months. We launched September 1st, and the lack of rainfall has been noticeable really since launch. It's almost like a Digital Weather Desk jinx, obviously. It is pure coincidence. Take a look at the driest Decembers on record in Monroe. This one was the third driest on record. In Greenville, unofficially, I have it as the 5th driest. In Tallulah-Vicksburg, I have it as the driest December on record. I did not confirm those with the National Weather Service offices. I just kind of took it and ran with it. I think it's pretty legit. But I think the only reason I listed Monroe, Kathy, good morning and Happy New Year to you as well. The only reason that I really listed Monroe is because Monroe has the largest spanning records. I think the records go back to like 1893 or something. So it was the most impactful to be the third driest. A lot of the other areas we only have 30 or 40 years worth of records, which is still pretty noticeable. Clearly, it was dry. Infrared satellite this morning as the sun shines on the first day of the new year. There were a few high clouds overnight, really no bother. Most of us should see sunshine today. Radar Products is always made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Not a whole lot happening. Again, the lack of rainfall remains the headline. And the pattern change as we go into the new year is also a headline. We'll get to that in just a minute. Gloria, good morning and Happy New Year to you. Futurecast shows winds out of the southwest. Of course, Futurecast is always made possible by Bayou Power Sports, I-20 frontage road in Monroe. Winds are back out of the south. Clouds will increase steadily through the daytime hours today. I'm calling it partly cloudy skies. Some computer models have the clouds returning rather sharply early in the day. Others have the clouds kind of trickling in a little bit later in the day. Regardless, we will see an increase in clouds as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. Shannon, good morning. Happy New Year to you as well. So the winds are back out of the south. An increase in cloud cover as we go through the day on Friday. Maybe even a few spotty showers as early as the overnight and early morning hours tomorrow. That area of low pressure that moves over our area, moves over the Arklamis region at the surface is fairly weak. The upper disturbance that's also associated with this area of low pressure is getting stronger, deepening as it moves over our area and exits eastward. So we really don't get the best form of this disturbance storm system as it moves through. The best form of it really kind of misses us to the east and north. Really more to the east. Showers will be possible late in the day Friday, but then along the weak boundary that's being pushed through the area, we will probably see some lingering clouds through the day on Saturday. And it will be noticeably cooler. We're back into the 70s tomorrow afternoon. But then dip back into the low to mid 60s for the weekend. So it's still above average for this time of year, but noticeably cooler when you contrast Friday versus Saturday and Sunday. Probably seeing a return to cloud cover pretty sharply by the middle parts of next week, but the early half of next week should be sunny and dry. In terms of rain chances and rain totals tomorrow, if you pick up a shower, maybe some measurable rain, but most of it's just, again, cloudy and kind of muggy through the day before the cold front moves through and brings some cooler air going into the day on Saturday. Rain totals, the official rainfall forecast from the Weather Prediction Center, has the best rain chances along the Mississippi Valley. As I mentioned, the area of low pressure strengthens somewhat and the upper disturbance deepens somewhat. As it moves over our area and it advances eastward, really you want a storm system to strengthen to your west, so it brings the best rain chances over your area. Instead, it strengthens over our area and takes the best rain chances east. Womp womp. A check of, before we get there, you've already seen this. This is not that important. I got these graphics out of sequence. This is what I love about this, because if I was standing in front of a green screen right now, I wouldn't be able to fix this on the fly. And I would have just ruined and wasted an entire bunch of time. But now we can jump back into this. So here's a look at the upper level winds. We've been watching this for the last couple of days. Embedded in a pretty strong northwesterly flow aloft right now. So to put this into motion, we go through the daytime hours Friday and into Saturday. And this is what I was talking about. This upper disturbance really starts to deepen as it moves through the Mississippi Valley. This is by Saturday morning. In the upper levels of the atmosphere, usually a storm system or a trough impacts you, and storm systems kind of slant from the surface back to the west. It's just kind of how the atmosphere works. So the upper trough moving through an area is kind of the end of a storm system. Most of the activity's out ahead of it. Again, I could get into the dynamics and the physics of the atmosphere and how that works, but most of you really don't care about that kind of stuff. So again, as I mentioned, it's kind of deepening as it exits our region through the Mississippi Valley late Friday night into Saturday morning. It clears out, ridge of high pressure's back in, again, sinking, compressing, warming air. It's not a ridiculously strong ridge of high pressure, but it's kind of a placeholder in the forecast until a deeper storm system starts to take shape in parts of next week. PV, Patty, Janet, Jan, good morning. Happy New Year to all of you. So this is where the forecast starts to kind of make its turn. That ridge of high pressure starts to get flattened out. By late next week, this is next Thursday, a week from today, you can start seeing the southwesterly winds in the upper levels of the atmosphere. So we're starting to get a little bit of subtropical moisture in. And as has been designated for the last couple of days, there's probably going to be, as the pattern changes, there will likely be some sort of lead disturbance. Now, where this lead disturbance sets up is anybody's guess. Some computer model simulations and runs have had it here. Some have had it ejecting through here. Some have it ejecting back through here. We just don't know where it's going to be and who it's going to impact. But it's going to move through somewhere in the central United States. It's too early to determine whether we really get any rain chances from this. But this would be a week from today. That lead disturbance, regardless of what it does, it starts to kind of carve changes into the upper pattern. So it moves through. Then there will be the parent trough storm system that moves through as well. This particular computer model run actually has kind of a secondary disturbance that ejects out, and it just leaves the parent trough stalled, big upper low kind of cut off to the west. Again, it all depends on how this storm system evolves as to what it means for us in our area. This particular run keeps that trough just kind of big, burly, stalled out to the west until early in the next week. This is not Monday. This would be a week from Monday, like 10, 11 days away. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is, again, the computer models are now converging on another, hey, the pattern's about to change. We don't know a lot of specifics about it, but we know the trends. The trends are above average temperatures through the middle parts of the month, 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, still high confidence of above average temperatures, and that pattern points to that as well. Upper level winds out of the southwest starting to transport subtropical moisture. It's warm, probably humid air. It sets us up for the possibility of some rainmakers, maybe some severe weather makers. It's way too early to talk about that kind of stuff in any kind of specifics. It looks like it starts to work rain back into the forecast. That's the biggest takeaway. The precip outlook and the 6 to 10 day outlook, I can jump on board with this. I like the way this looks. I think this kind of fully captures and encompasses the general thought process of how I think the forecast is going to pan out during that stretch. The 8 to 14 day outlook, same story. Still probably above average, but we may start working some cooler air back into the region a little bit more frequently. Becky, Etta, Jan, good morning to all of you. Happy New Year. And then the 8 to 14 day precip outlook keeps us active through the first half of the month of January. Whether these are just frequent storm system and rainmakers, we don't know. Whether these are heavy rainmakers, we don't know. Whether they're severe weather makers, we don't know. At this point, it doesn't look like they are winter weather makers. It does not look like they are. But it's too early to know that for certain either. Daytime highs today rebound into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. It'll be a warm way to start the new year. Winds will be out of the west, maybe even the southwest through the day, 10 to 15 miles an hour. I would think even more of a southwesterly breeze. I need to tweak that on the graphic there. Overnight lows tonight in the mid-50s, cloudy as the clouds continue to increase. Not quite as cool. A stray shower not out of the question. Any rain that we see tonight would overnight through the early morning hours would be quite light. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. Mid-70s Friday. Weak front moves through. Slight rain chances. We've been talking about that for a while. And then really Saturday, Sunday, the weekend looks cool and quiet. Daytime highs in the low to mid-60s. Morning lows 40s and 50s. Should warm up a little bit early parts of next week. In fact, sharply warmer by Wednesday. Low to mid-70s by then. And that sets the stage for whatever storm systems or whatever pattern change we start alluding to late next week into next weekend. I would think the earliest feasible possible changes that we could really see to our forecast would be next Thursday. And I still think that's probably too early. I think next weekend is probably a little bit more legitimate in terms of working rain or thunderstorms or something like that back into the forecast. And again, that is very, 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 very early in the thought process. Irene, Happy New Year to you as well. So that's how things shake out for the first day of the new year at 8:13 in the morning. Of course, if you're joining us late, you can go back or if you're joining the stream late, once we wrap things up here and the video processes and all that stuff, you could skip through what you need to see and see what you missed. Forecast just got a little bit of a refresh at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the Digital Weather Desk app, available for Apple and Android users. I will update that fully again a little bit later today when we get more data in later this morning. Again, data dumps with weather forecasts and forecast data happens frequently through the day, so it gives us an opportunity to kind of refresh the forecast there. That's pretty much it. I'll join you later today, likely seeing a midday stream, and then another afternoon stream, late afternoon stream as well. Depending on how things pan out, we'll just kind of see how the day goes. May skip that midday stream, but still planning on it, at least for right now. Forecast, again, is always available at digitalweatherdesk.com and on the app. I'll check in with you later today. Too Long Didn't Read comes out at 9:30. Fishing game later tonight. Enjoy the first day of the new year, especially if you have the day off. And we'll check in with you later today. Thanks for stopping by the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. Happy New Year, everybody.